Did you know that 85% of people believe they're not living up to their full creative potential? That's a huge number. And here's a jaw-dropping fact. Companies that foster creativity see 30% higher revenue growth than those that don't. Creativity isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a game changer. But here's the good news. Creativity isn't some mysterious gift reserved for a select few. It's a skill you can develop. And today, you're going to discover how. We're diving into 8 game-changing tips that will transform how you approach problem-solving. From harnessing the power of chaos to turning emotions into creative fuel, you'll learn strategies that can help you think in new ways and solve problems like never before. Stay tuned to find out how breaking the rules, playing more, and even embracing constraints can lead to incredible breakthroughs. Ready to unlock your creative genius? Let's get started. Chapter 1. Unleash your inner maverick. Break the rules to innovate. To truly unlock your creative potential, sometimes you need to throw the rulebook out the window. Sounds crazy, right? But breaking the rules can actually lead to breakthrough ideas. For example, did you know that Airbnb started because its founders couldn't pay rent? Instead of following the traditional path of finding a job, they bent the rules and created a whole new industry. Creativity thrives on breaking away from the norm. Steve Jobs once said, "Innovation is saying no to 1,000 things." He wasn't afraid to break the mold, and neither should you be. The idea is to challenge the status quo and look at things from a completely different angle. Don't just think outside the box, destroy the box. A study from Northwestern University found that people who are willing to question rules and challenge conventions are often more innovative. So next time you're stuck, ask yourself, what rule can I bend or break to solve this problem? This approach might just lead you to a solution no one else has thought of. After all, creativity is about seeing possibilities where others see obstacles. Chapter 2. The Art of Seeing Sideways. Lateral thinking for the win. Lateral thinking is your secret weapon for coming up with out-of-the-box solutions. Instead of following a straight line, lateral thinking encourages you to zigzag through problems. It's about looking at situations from unexpected angles. Edward de Bono, the man who coined the term, believes that creativity involves breaking out of established patterns to look at things differently. Think about the invention of Velcro. It didn't come from a direct search for a new fastener. It happened because Swiss engineer Georges de Mestral was curious about burrs sticking to his clothes after a hike. He wasn't trying to invent anything. He was just thinking sideways. And that's exactly what lateral thinking is all about. The good news? Anyone can develop lateral thinking skills. A simple exercise is to challenge yourself to find 10 different uses for a common object, like a paperclip. This forces your brain to make unusual connections. Research from the University of Amsterdam shows that people who regularly practice lateral thinking are better at solving complex problems. So the next time you face a tough challenge, don't go straight ahead. Try a sideways approach instead. Chapter 3. Creative Chaos. Embrace disorder to spark genius. Embracing chaos might sound like a recipe for disaster, but it can actually be the spark that ignites your creative genius. The idea is to let go of rigid structures and allow a little disorder into your thinking process. This approach is backed by science. A study from the University of Minnesota found that people working in messy environments tend to come up with more creative ideas. Think about it. When your mind is free from strict rules and order, it's more likely to make unexpected connections. Albert Einstein, one of the most creative minds in history, famously said, "If a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, of what, then, is an empty desk?" He understood that chaos isn't the enemy of creativity, it's a catalyst. To use this strategy, try brainstorming in a less structured environment. Don't be afraid to let your thoughts wander. Embrace the mess. Let your ideas collide and mix in unexpected ways. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but this creative chaos can lead to innovative solutions you never saw coming. Chapter 4. Mind mashups, cross-pollination of ideas. One of the best ways to solve problems creatively is to mix and match ideas from different fields. This is known as cross-pollination, and it's a strategy that has led to some of the greatest inventions in history. Take the smartphone, for instance. It's a mashup of telephony, computing, and entertainment, all combined into one revolutionary device. Cross-pollination works because it forces you to think beyond your usual boundaries. It's about bringing together ideas that don't normally belong together and seeing what happens. Steve Jobs was a master of this. He once said, "Creativity is just connecting things." And he didn't mean just connecting similar things. He meant connecting wildly different concepts. You can start by exposing yourself to new fields of knowledge. Read books, watch documentaries, or attend workshops outside your usual interests. A study from Columbia University found that people who engage in diverse learning experiences are better at creative problem solving. The next time you're stuck, Try looking for inspiration in unexpected places. You might just discover the perfect solution hiding in plain sight. If you're into this, subscribe and let's keep moving forward with the video. Chapter 5. The Power of Play. Gamify your problem-solving process. Who says work and play don't mix? One of the most effective ways to boost creativity is to turn problem-solving into a game. Play isn't just for kids, it's a powerful tool for adults too. In fact, a study from the National Institute for Play shows that engaging in playful activities can enhance creativity and innovation. When you gamify your problem-solving process, you create a fun and relaxed environment where your brain can freely explore ideas. This might mean setting up challenges for yourself, rewarding creative thinking, or even turning brainstorming into a game with friends or colleagues. Think about how video games work. They're all about solving problems, but they make it enjoyable and engaging. Take Google, for example. The company famously encourages playfulness in its work culture. From the design of its offices to the freedom employees have to work on passion projects. This playful environment is one reason why Google consistently ranks as one of the most innovative companies in the world. Try incorporating more play into your creative process. You'll be surprised at how much easier it is to come up with fresh ideas when you're having fun. Remember, creativity isn't just about hard work. It's also about playing with possibilities. Chapter 6. Emotional Alchemy. Transform feelings into fuel for creativity. Your emotions can be a powerful source of creative energy if you know how to harness them. Emotional alchemy is about turning your feelings, whether positive or negative, into creative fuel. This isn't just about using happiness or excitement to generate ideas. It's also about channeling frustration, sadness, or even anger into something productive. For instance, some of the greatest works of art, literature, and music were born out of intense emotional experiences. Frida Kahlo, for example, used her pain and suffering to create powerful, evocative paintings. She once said, "I paint myself because I am so often alone and because I am the subject I know best." Her art was her way of transforming emotional turmoil into something beautiful. Research from the University of California, Berkeley, suggests that people who are more in touch with their emotions tend to be more creative. The key is to acknowledge your feelings and then use them as a springboard for ideas. Instead of letting emotions overwhelm you, ask yourself how you can channel them into your work. Whether you're feeling joyful or stressed, there's always a way to turn that energy into something creative. Chapter 7. Dream Weaving. Tapping into your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is a treasure trove of creative ideas, if you know how to access it. Dream weaving is about tapping into that deep part of your mind where ideas often come together in surprising ways. Did you know that some of the most famous inventions and artistic works came to people in their dreams? The periodic table, for instance, was reportedly visualized by Dmitri Mendeleev in a dream. You can tap into this power by practicing techniques like lucid dreaming or simply paying more attention to your dreams. Keep a dream journal by your bed and write down whatever you remember as soon as you wake up. Over time, you might start noticing patterns or ideas that you can use in your creative projects. Salvador Dali, the surrealist painter, famously used a technique he called the slumber with a key. He would hold a key in his hand while sitting in a chair and drift off to sleep. As soon as he dozed off, the key would drop and he would wake up, often with a new idea in his head. This method allowed him to tap into the creative power of his subconscious mind. Don't underestimate the ideas that come to you in your sleep. Your subconscious is always working, even when you're not aware of it. By paying attention to your dreams, you can unlock a whole new level of creativity. Chapter 8. The Power of Constraints. Limitation as a launchpad. It might seem counterintuitive, but limitations can actually fuel your creativity. When you're forced to work within certain constraints, whether it's time, budget, or resources, it pushes you to think more creatively. This is known as the creative constraint principle, and it's a powerful tool for problem solving. Consider the 48-hour film project, a competition where teams have just 2 days to create a short film from scratch. The tight deadline forces participants to think on their feet and come up with innovative solutions quickly. Many participants say the constraints actually make them more creative because they don't have time to overthink. They just have to make it work. A study by Harvard Business School found that people are more creative when they face moderate constraints. Too many restrictions can stifle creativity, but a few well-placed limitations can actually enhance it. The idea is that constraints force you to focus and think outside the box. So the next time you're facing a problem, don't see limitations as roadblocks. Instead, view them as opportunities to push your creativity to new heights. Constraints can be the very thing that sparks your most innovative ideas. Click that subscribe button and become a part of our adventure.